On Democracy Now!, I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
Well, we end today's show in Houston, Texas, 2 weeks after Hurricane Harvey caused historic flooding and left residents to coordinate with each other to rescue thousands of people who were left stranded when officials were overwhelmed. Now that volunteer spirit of mutual aid has continued in the storm's aftermath.
Democracy Now!'s Renee Feltz joins us now with a report from her hometown of Houston on how some of the many Houstonians who form decentralized networks to clean out flooded homes, feed thousands who lost everything, and offer much-needed counseling. Welcome back, Renee. Why don't you set up this piece for us?
Thanks, Amy. It's great to be back in New York. Like many people who live in Houston and the Gulf Coast, I feel like I'm going through a bit of PTSD. I didn't have a good time. It was good to see people down there, but it's a long-term recovery situation. And part of what I was happy to see and excited about was the fact that people that helped each other, neighbor to neighbor, are now helping each other in the long-term relief. And so we spoke with a woman named Mary Magaha, and she's going to introduce us in this video to her home that was destroyed, and then we'll meet some of the volunteers that are helping to clean it out. We'll also meet people helping to serve meals and to do counseling.
Let's go to Renee Feltz's piece, just back from Houston.
When I walked in the door, you see lots of muddy water, furniture toppled over. Everything was very wet.
Could you tell how high the water got?
It's got about 4 feet. I had a contractor came, worked for a while. Then I couldn't afford to pay him because I ran out of money. And then I got the volunteer through my niece. She had some people, I don't know how she found the volunteers, but she recommended them to me, so they came over and started helping me.
My name is James. It's a lot of work gutting the houses, taking out all the drywall, all the insulation, all the furniture and belongings, basically everything that's, below 4 feet on the house. And then, cleaning it out, doing stuff to remediate the mold, so washing the studs down and the floors down with bleach and everything. And this is at least the 3rd day that groups of volunteers have been out at this house.
That noise we hear sounds like a vacuum. Looks like the bottom part of the walls is ripped out on the drywall in the living room where you walk in.
And this is my kitchen, and this is my microwave, and I had a cooking top, and I had a built-in oven over here. And this was my sink.
There's no sink here now.
It's not. I thought I saw a sink there. No, I'm just kidding.
Just pipes. I see pipes only.
It's just pipes only. Right now, you're in my master bedroom, and right over to my right here is my bag. We had to tear everything out here, so this was my comfort zone right here. Right now, it doesn't look much like a comfort zone, but it will be. I think when you're going through something like this, you just don't realize until you go through it. I didn't cry till yesterday through all the ordeal, and it's just hard to talk about. Like I said, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I can't explain how you would feel, but I know how I feel. Devastated to knowing that everything that you worked for all of your life is gone.
I think the effort in Houston it's going to be a long-term effort. It's not something that you're going to just clean up in the next couple days. And I think one of the biggest challenges is sort of keeping it on people's radar. I think it's important to question why the state is so eager to be outsourcing these functions. And I don't think it's an issue of wanting the state to reassert its control over relief efforts, but to sort of question the legitimacy of that entire approach to begin with, and why we're not better off in many aspects of our lives, sort of self-organizing and decentralizing these tasks, and organizing around concepts like mutual aid and solidarity and sort of basic human dignity and decency.
We've just came from visiting with a woman whose house was being gutted by volunteers. The house had no stove, no appliances, no cabinets to put any food in. You can see how it would be hard to prepare a meal there. We heard about the Midtown Kitchen Collective, and we've come to see how they're preparing prepared meals to share with people like we just met.
My name is Matthew Wettergreen. and we're here at the Midtown Kitchen Collective, and we're running a site called IHaveFoodINeedFood.com. So we built this site that's just two Google Forms that ask you to describe the food that you have, whether it's prepared in a commercial kitchen, the quantity, when it's ready, and then another side that's the need side for people to describe what type of food they need, how much they need, where it's going to, first responders, evacuees, things like that. So we've either arranged or picked up or cooked ourselves over 200,000 meals in the last week.
I'm Jonathan Beitler.
We're going to walk over to a station here where it looks like they're preparing
sandwiches. Yeah, we have been preparing sandwiches for the past week. We've had hundreds of people making literally thousands of sandwiches.
Now we're in a bustling kitchen.
Yeah, we're using the commercial kitchen space here at Search. We've had dozens and dozens and dozens of chefs come in, donate their time using product that's also been donated, and to create hot meals that we are giving out to people all over the city and including outlying areas like Beaumont and Port Arthur. You know, there's one thing to give them sandwiches, and that's very much a necessity when you're talking about dealing with a lot of people, but the ability to provide neighborhoods and communities and shelters with hot food that they can sit down and sit around the table and talk to each other over a hot dinner, which many of the people that have been affected by the hurricane haven't been able to do in weeks now, has been incredible. We're working really hard to make sure that we're cataloging what we've done and making it available for other communities. Other people should have this system and be able to have it set up in place prior to a disaster happening, so that once the disaster does happen, it can be activated immediately, because it's an innovative approach, utilizing technology, utilizing social media, and really everybody coming together to service a need that's not been fulfilled by entities like the Red Cross or FEMA in immediate disaster response.
And now we've made it into the 5th Ward, where we're stopping to speak with
Julia Walker. I have an organization called World on My Shoulders. We've been here mostly distributing goods. We've engaged with the public a little bit and tried to figure out how best to serve their needs. We've got another partner out and with Black Women's Defense League. They've been demoing houses the last few days, but all of those houses are places where I went to before and found out by saying, you know, you need water, you need this, and then they're like, oh, actually there's another layer, our house is full of mold. As more crews have gotten out and started distributing goods and started showing up to demolition houses and doing other things like that, I felt like I could do less of that and more of my unique skill set. And so I've been directly peer-to-peer counseling every single day. I'm trying my best to make sure that we work on actual total care, and I think that a large portion of that is dealing with the trauma and dealing with the multi-layered trauma, because these are people who are already in trauma zones and were already living fully in crisis mode and now have lost all of their assets on top of it. People are still being ignored actively because they've been passed by someone, because someone has handed them a thing. They've decided that all their problems are fixed. And that's not possible under late capitalism. It's not possible to just say that because we fed people today that they will be okay tomorrow. It's giving them the tools, fixing the immediate needs, giving the tools, and then long-term staying with them so that they can help build and then be the example for the next.
Special thanks to Democracy Now!'s Renee Feltz and to Tish Stringer for that report from Houston, Texas, and to Austin Airwaves, always. That does it for our show. Juan, tonight you're going to be in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Juan is continuing his book tour with his new book, Reclaiming Gotham. He'll be at Busboys and Poets at 5th and K in Washington, D.C., speaking with
Joe Davidson, the columnist at the Washington Post.
And then moving on Thursday to Changing Hands Bookstore in Tempe, Arizona at 7 p.m. On Friday, Juan will be speaking in Austin, Texas at 5:30 at the Workers' Defense Project. And in the weeks to come, he's headed to Newark, New Jersey, Kansas City, Missouri, College Park, Maryland, and beyond. You can check our website at democracynow.org. I'll also be traveling through Canada in the weeks to come. Check democracynow.org, our speaking events. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Burke, Dina Guzder, Noreen Shea, Carla Wills, Laura Gaddis, Dina Sam Alkoff, John Hamilton, Robbie Karen, Honey Masood, Trina Nadura, Nat Needham. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.